have to get there. I cannot afford to fail. There's days that I feel like imposter syndrome. You know, what am I doing here? Or, you know, should I even be here?
It is hard to believe where you've come from. It's kind of like, Jesus, is this really me?
Every year, thousands of students in Ireland begin a life-changing adventure through higher education. But for people with a disability or those from disadvantaged backgrounds, dreams of college have often been just that, a dream. But thanks to the success of access and disability programs, a more diverse range of students are getting the supports and encouragement they need to reach their full potential. In this series, we follow 7 university students, each with a set of challenging personal circumstances as they negotiate an unprecedented academic year. Stressful, emotional, and uplifting. From this unique class of 2020, these are the stories of their uni life. Roshin Farah is coming to the end of her 3rd year of her PhD in Child and Youth Research at the UNESCO Institute at NUI Galway. Her work is gathering recognition, and she's already presented at an international conference on childcare in Israel. Roshin entered NUI Galway through a local school leavers access route, and her journey to higher education has been a personally challenging one.
When I was 16, I ran away from home. I would have came from a very, very different kind of background or childhood than maybe the average young person.
Roshin was taken into care and moved in with her aunt and uncle.
I'm very lucky, even though I was taken into care, I have a very, very good relationship with my mum and a very close relationship. I know she is so proud of everything that I've achieved. When I lived with my aunt and uncles, actually, this is a place that I'd come and walk quite often, actually, with my earphones in and getting the weight of the world off my head. Well, I think living with them gave me love, security, protection. It showed me what a family relationship should be like. They gave me certain things, like in terms of just practical things, like having my own room for the first time. They showed me what it was like to have a family meal and sit down at a table.
Roshin often returns to the house to catch up with her family and her cousins, Micheál and Mairead.
Most likely to become a scientist.
You're kind of a scientist.
No, I can't do it myself. I actually would think you, yeah. Their kids taught me what a good childhood was like and to play with them and stuff like that. So I learned a lot, even from the kids as well as my aunt and uncle. Should I tell you maybe about getting accepted to Canada?
Canada?
Well, yeah, one of the...
You in Canada?
Yes, you going to Canada, yes. Homebird, country girl Roshin, yes, is going to Canada. And speaking about my research, so I got accepted to do a presentation over there.
Well, that's good.
The end of June.
Courtney is also midway through her 3rd year of a business and sociology degree in Trinity College Dublin. Courtney has bilateral cochlear implants and entered university through the Disability Access Route to Education, commonly known as DARE.
I live with my granddad during college. He lives like 15 minutes away from Trinity. Hi, Grandad.
Hi, Courtney. How are you?
Good. Do you want a cup of tea?
I'd love one.
My nana died 2 years ago, so I was actually living in student accommodation before, but then I moved in with him to keep him company, but he also keeps me company too. Yeah, so this term in college hasn't been that hectic. Right now there's a lot of like balls, so like I went to Medicine Ball and then we have Trinity Ball coming up.
Is that the big, is that the huge?
It's like a mini concert, but in Trinity, so it'll be really fun.
Is this going to be a night where I'm going to expect you to be out all night?
Yes. My mum does realise me and Laura recently broke up. He would be like #1. It happened actually after Christmas exams, like during the Christmas break when we had time off. It was mutual. Both of our lives were just very busy and we didn't have a lot of time for each other, so we're just doing what's best for both of us right now.
Sean Fogerty is in his 2nd year of a 3-year degree in mobile communications and security at the University of Limerick. Sean was left paralysed after a car crash in 2013. After 2 major operations, his diagnosis was stark. His injuries were described as being incompatible with life.
Within a year, he was ready to go to rehab. Eventually got funding to bring him to the UK, to Stoke Mandeville.
Stoke Mandeville is actually a centre for excellence now. It focuses on rehabilitation spinal injuries. Its core focus is spinal injuries. They were very good to get you back up and going.
He learned so much over there, but I think the main thing we all learned was that this is actually something you can have a great life with, you know.
Before that, me and Mum would have never went out on our own to dinner or something like that, whereas over there they kind of encouraged that, and if we were back there, it was like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it.
Today, Sean's mother, Greta, is a constant presence in her son's life. With the devastating scale of Sean's injuries, Greta knew that the long road to rehabilitation wasn't going to be easy.
Everything was a fight. To get him over to the UK was a fight. To get him back from the UK was the fight. To get him down to Clonmel Hospital was another big battle. And then to get him home ultimately took huge effort. Sean is quite unique. There's not many in the country who are like him. So the thoughts of, you know, him leaving the hospital, let alone coming home and living a life, was just, no, this is never going to happen. Don't be so ridiculous, you know. Everything was just a constant battle.
Despite the many physical challenges that he has to overcome on a daily basis, Sean now has to focus on the mounting challenges of his university degree.
What are you looking up today?
I'm just catching up my assignments inside.
Unable to write or type his assignments, Sean uses the latest groundbreaking eye gaze technology. By using the retina of the eyes, Sean's computer can translate Sean's eye movements into letters and words.
Basically, you have a lot of infrared dots, and they pick up the retina of your eye, and it uses that to pinpoint where you're focused on the screen. So you can type by dwelling on something like so, and then I can use this to come along and get my lecture notes. If you have 1,000 words, let's say, or 2,000 words, and you're trying to type that out overnight there, it's like slightly slower now that you're typing with your eyes or something like that. Things like that are a bit frustrating.
At Maynooth University, Alpha Ike, who is in his 3rd year of his computer science degree, is meeting his friend Calvin, a law student in the university.
The nightlife in Maynooth is generally really good, and I feel like Maynooth's quite a small college, you know, compared to some of the. Yeah, so I feel like everybody kind of, once you see the same person a couple of times, you know, you have to say hey, and then it just kind of evolves from that.
Yeah, people are just friendly here. I don't know what it is. Everybody just mixes, like everybody just gets along with each other. I think it's important to just have an outlet, full stop, like whatever it's music, sport, you know, acting, whatever it is. Like if you have an outlet and you can just vent and you can just be able to like put work down and relax, because like it's tough going for students for studying with, you know, on campus, and then you have to do your own studying to do on lectures and stuff, like, because it can get intense. Like
I find in college that there's just such a good variety. I feel like there's a lot of things to open your mind to.
Yeah, do frisbee together.
I did. We played ultimate frisbee for a while. We said we'd try something new. That was very. We went to Germany. We went to Germany to play ultimate frisbee last summer. It was so good.
I was just asked one day, do you want to play GAA?
Somebody just said, we're short a few backs. Would you tug out? Like that's how it started. And after that, I just hooked at under 14s. And when I started, I was terrible. And you know, people just laugh at you and think it's a joke. Like, but they weren't laughing when you started winning championship, and you know, you start getting better.
I love just being with the lads, just kicking scores, like, you know what I mean? Being in a group and being able to just appreciate each other and like fight for each other, just for the journey, just for no reason, no money, no nothing, just like for the right reasons, like for each other, just for the parish, like, you know.
Alpha has just been offered a placement at Aer Lingus, which will give him valuable insight into the workplace.
I will be based in the airport, and I'll be working on some of the web stuff. It's great, honestly. I didn't think I was going to get it, to be fair. I remember just telling my parents that, you know, I have to go sign up the contract, and they actually laughed and thought, yeah, you're going to be an engineer. So yeah, it was a nice moment. I actually don't know what to expect. Like, I could be, it's just so much opportunity, so much potential. Being able to apply all the knowledge you've learned in the college is different going from sitting in a classroom in a lecture hall to actually doing stuff you're being taught. So yeah, no, I'm actually really nervous about this one.
I think it'll be excellent. I think he commits 100% to whatever he does, and I don't have a doubt in my mind that he'll fly through it.
Yeah.
I think once you stay friends with somebody in college, you have them for life, do you know what I mean? I think once you're close with somebody in college, definitely, you go through so many life experiences, I can't see it, like, cutting off. Like,
it's been a roller coaster, like, we've been through the worst and the best together, like, you know what I mean?
What more could you want?
And that's it, like, but like, honestly...
We're like an old married couple.
No comment, no comment.
No comment.
4 years after returning to education, Karl is studying a PhD in psychology in Dublin City University. Once a builder, now a mature student, Karl completed his degree in 3 years and decided to stay in university life.
There's probably a bit of slagging and banter from the lads that I go to football and hurling with, but there was nothing negative. I mean, everything was positive and everybody was very supportive. And I did say to everybody at the start that I will be a doctor of psychology someday, so that was the goal.
Taking a small break from his studies, Karl and his partner Linda are visiting Karl's mother, Marie.
So his dad died when he was 66, and I think he promised his dad he'd always look after her. And without Karl here for Marie, she would be lost. Karl's always here to take her to her appointments, you know, to get her medication, and just even the company of going in for a cup of tea.
Yes, I am so proud of him. He's achieved so much.
You were fairly proud last year when I went over to Holland, over to The Hague to present.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely.
I heard you telling Christo out there one day that I was going to Iceland. I remember sitting one evening in the summer of 2015, and Linda said to me, she says, "Promise me one thing," she says. And I said, "What's that?" She goes, "Please don't change." And I said, "I won't." And she says, "I will. You'll be up there now with all them academic people and you'll be talking big words and stuff."
There was a little bit of me that was afraid he was going to change and he was going to start hanging out with all of these, you know, really fancy, you know, people that were really highly educated, and then he really wouldn't want to have anything to do with me anymore because I wouldn't be able to speak the same lingo as him. So there was a big fear, and I say, oh, he's going to be on Facebook and social media, and he's going to be, you know, going to be hanging out with all these young girls, and I was scared, but he didn't change at all, thank God. He's still the same caring, loving man that he always was.
See, Linda makes the stuff and then I have to clean up after him.
OCD.
By March, the growing uncertainty about the impact of a virus is beginning to take hold across the country. Ireland's worst fears are soon confirmed.
RTE Radio 1. This is the news at 1 with Anya Lawler. Good afternoon to you. The headlines this Thursday lunchtime. Schools, colleges and childcare facilities are to close until the 29th of March in response to the spread of COVID-19.
Midway through the second semester of the academic year, life across Ireland comes to a standstill. For the first time in the history of the Irish state, a lockdown shuts down shops, restaurants, pubs, schools. And over a weekend, all teaching and assessment at the 7 universities goes online. Normal university life across the country grinds to a halt. Students and staff are sent home. Usually brimming with life, the country's university campuses become ghost towns overnight. At Maynooth University, Alpha Ike, who is studying computer science, recently began a work placement at Aer Lingus.
It's a shock to the system, shock to many things. A lot of things have changed. Getting the placement with Aer Lingus was it's brilliant. It's a good career opportunity, exciting working there. New environment, new people, learning different things every day nearly. But then I think it was just before, maybe 2 to 3 weeks before it actually hit, before the government announced stay-at-home orders. Because we are based in airport, our office is based in airport. So we were told that there's developing cases, a lot of cases in Italy. So there was a lot less traffic, we were restricting traffic from Italy. So that sort of was when the moment, the penny dropped and you're like, okay,
right, so this is happening.
As restrictions across the whole sector are implemented, students go online for their remaining studies and any information on their courses, as well as updates on the changing situation. Christina O'Neill, in her last year of her Masters in Education, had been teaching as part of her degree, and she needs at least 2 years under her belt in order to graduate. But now, she's in lockdown.
It's a bit unsettling. I'm not sure what's happening really, because that's the only statement that's been issued. We've been told nothing by UCC. We've been told nothing by the School of Education in UCC. Like, we're very confused about what's happening, and that's not just me, that's including our whole course. You know, because if we can't finish our placement, will we have enough of experience to go out there? Will we be confident going into a classroom to teach full time?
So the students ring us saying, can you give us an answer? And let's just say they ring Access, and I say, well, I need to check with the school or department. And then I check with the school or department, and they say, well, we're waiting to hear from the registrar's office. And you contact the registrar's office, and he may say, well, I'm waiting to hear from an external regulatory body or from the Department of Education and Skills. It's more complex than even I would have recognised.
Good morning from a lockdown Mornington. It's early morning and I'm down for my usual walk along the banks of the River Boyne. I come down with, there she is, my little dog Bonnie. She comes in for a swim every morning. So it's actually absolutely fantastic to have this amenity on the doorstep, to be able to walk down and you're well within your 2 kilometre or 5 kilometre radius. No idea what day of the week it is, or I think it's Monday today, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's a Monday. Hopefully we'll be back to normal soon, wherever normal is going to be.
COVID-19 has played havoc with students' plans to obtain important work placements. For Sean Fogerty in Limerick, however, events may have actually worked in his favour. He started working with the technology firm Cloud Assist, who develop solutions for people who work from home.
I'm enjoying the placement now. I suppose any job that you're doing that you enjoy it entails a bit of work, so it's not really work if you enjoy it, don't they say, in one way. It is busy enough, it's just getting everything done, but I'm enjoying it now and I'm not finding it time consuming because it kind of relates to everything, so it is quite useful in the future for everything as well. So.
Due to Sean's medical condition, COVID-19 carries much greater risk than normal. It's a risk his mother Greta is very much aware of.
We've been cocooning here. We've only really had ourselves, and the carers are coming in, which is amazing because you are hearing something from the outside world, but they're kind of very stressed as well because they're worrying about who they may or may not have spoken to while they were out of here and what they may or may not be bringing into the house. I guess we are a mini ICU, so the same kind of precautions have to go here as well as in the hospital. So when it changes for them, it pretty much changes for us as well.
Across the 7 universities, students are coping with a new normal of online lectures and exams.
Sometimes that isn't accessible for people who are visually impaired, and sometimes also if you have bad internet connection, you mightn't be able to afford Wi-Fi, so you'll be missing out on classes that way.
So a couple of the topics that I'd normally throw up, social media.
There's a whole issue around inclusion, not generally just around disability. Generally speaking, there's a digital divide out there. We know it exists already. There's people who don't have the capacity or the experiences or the kit, as I call it, the tech kit to even be able to manage this online experience we're in. So I think there's a lot of things that need to be done to make it fully inclusive.
As the restrictions continue across the university campuses, uncertainty grows about upcoming events. For students in the last days of their university life, it's a time for reflection. But this year, it's often without friends and sometimes family to share.
Today is my last day of college and I'm spending it in quarantine. It's quite an emotional day. Just because I've gone through college up until now, the last 2 years of my Masters, and I've made such an amazing bunch of friends. It's like my 5 years built up and now it's just dropped.
Hi guys, it's day whatever of quarantine. Lockdown is still happening. Thankfully now we've heard about the phases and phasing out of the lockdown. I'm taking a day away from work today, so taking a bit of a walk.
The conference that I was accepted to in Canada has been cancelled, but I think everybody's in the same boat. I really hope that I do get the PhD in this side of Christmas. My submission, I'm not going to rush that. I'm 26, I'm in the last year of it. I will get it done. It will be done. It will be done to a good standard. I have my articles written. I have loads of teaching work done. I have incredible interviews from incredible people. That in itself stands to itself. When it's done, it'll be done, and it'll be done right.
The time has come. I've just submitted my thesis. It's an unbelievable feeling. Honestly, I never thought that I would reach the stage where I would finish 5 years of college submitting a thesis around traveller education. I really feel I came full circle. I could not be happier. Couldn't be happier.
Of the many highlights of university life, the most significant is graduation. Celebrating your academic achievements with your peers is a memorable, life-changing moment. But not this year. For UCD's medical graduate Adam Freegrove, the final stage of his academic career will certainly be one to remember.
As I'm recording this, it's the 30th of April, Thursday, and come Friday the 1st, UCD is having an online graduation for all of its class in medicine 2020. It's not really how any of us expected anything to happen. I never expected that my graduation would be held in my sitting room. I'm going to go now from tomorrow, from being Adam Freegrove to Dr. Adam Freegrove. For now, I have tomorrow now to look forward to. I have a bottle of bubbly ready to go. I will probably dress up nicer than a pair of pajamas though, considering that's pretty much all I've been wearing lately. Not today though, I do have jeans on, which is nice.
This is a virtual meeting assembled for the conferring of degrees.
I will now list the graduates on whom degrees are to be conferred. Adam Freegrove.
Next week on My Uni Life, as the country grapples with the impact of COVID-19 restrictions, our students settle into a new normal. Christina O'Neill has to decide where her future lies as a teacher.
I was excited, I was scared.
Sean Fogerty has a special meeting with his new boss.
We'll sit here for a second.
And Adam Freegrove becomes Dr. Freegrove.